Hello and welcome, my dear scale modelers, to my small hobby YouTube channel, where I have a lot of echo. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at an inbox review of the REVELL 148 scale SR-71 Blackbird. Like I've mentioned, this model came out last year and it hit the shelves early this year in January. According to REVELL, this is a level 5 model because it has over 200 parts. So what are the unique features of the model? You can fully detail the cockpit with the canopies open or closed. You can display the landing gear up or down. You have a base and stand for it, so you can mount it on top. And you can build extra two engines and place it on the bottom so you can see the guts of it. As far as I can tell, there are 3 or maybe 4 distinct markings for this aircraft, basically to do with the test phase or operation phase. Either way, it's just a black model with markings. Alright, so let's take a look inside the box and see what's what. Hello and welcome. If you have just joined me, this is a REVELL new release, the SR-71A Blackbird, level 5 in 148 scale with 206 parts, a length of 682 millimeters and a wingspan of 353 millimeters. Upon opening the box, you see that huge plastic body that has a little bit of a broken piece, but that's really not to be worried about because it's not really used. The box is huge and the pieces are huge as well. Now the level 5 is there because there is a lot of parts. There's no photo etch parts, but there is a lot of parts. So I think it's relatively justified. You wouldn't want to build this for your first model, that's for sure. Of course, we have all the standard components, the sprues that contain all the necessary parts to build the model, the manual, and of course the decal sheet of paper. In this couple of shots, you'll be able to see all the sprues with all the parts and a phone charger as a reference point so you can see how big the pieces actually are. The SR-71 of course comes in only one color, and that is black. However, as far as I can make from the instructions, you have 3 types of markings. The first set of markings is from 1976, the high visibility markings where the aircraft was in its test phase, and on the bottom you have a white cross. The other half of the markings are basically linked to the aircraft when it was operational. And while we are on the subject of markings, here they are in close-up shot. As you can see, they are fantastic. Clear, sharp, and very well printed. There's no bleeding of colors and are nice and vivid. As for the unique features of the aircraft, well, as far as I can tell, you have the ability to display the model with the landing gear up or down, and of course you get to build the 2 side engines as well as the main airplane. Because this is a stealth aircraft, you would not expect it to have large windows, and in fact you only have 3 pieces that are in clear, and of those 3 pieces only a small portion are actually just windows. But the pieces are exemplary. And now coming to the meat of the aircraft, the actual pieces that make the aircraft what it is. These are very well made. As you can see, there is no particular flash. The attachment points are okay, and the detail is fantastic, as you would expect from a model of this day and age. As for the feel and finish of the plastic itself, I would describe it as a soft plastic with a semi-gloss finish, and it's really nice. The detail is fantastic on each and every piece, despite being a little bit flashy here on this corner, but that's not really that big of a deal, honestly. The rest is really good. There's not a lot of features per se for this aircraft, but I do believe that you'll have enough enjoyment when you're building it. Here we see a very detailed cockpit design, and you can notice that you have some buttons and screens that are protruding out from the surface, and a moment ago we saw that we have decals that can be placed on top of it. Now that is a little bit controversial because the decals won't conform to the surface that well, so you might as well just paint the instrument panel and the instrument by hand, which I think would be more enjoyable than just placing down a decal. Now as for the panel lines and panel gaps on the main body of the aircraft, I really have no complaints. I do think that they are very well designed and reproduced for this scale. And as you might imagine, because this is a 148 scale, you will use quite a lot of paint to cover the whole model, so using an airbrush is really going to come in handy, or maybe even a spray can if you are painting all the other parts with a conventional brush. One thing that did came to mind whilst I was reviewing this model is the fact that the external panels of the aircraft are really rather large, so you might have a problem gluing the two halves together. So it might be wise to use a slow setting glue for this application. I don't know about you, but I really like this new age REVELL manuals. In this case, it's a 36-page A4 fully colored manual that guides you through the build process of this SR-71. It's pretty straightforward, maybe a little bit congested on some pages, but it does the job and it shows you what to do. Unfortunately, on the back you'll see a lot of decals, and that can be daunting, so you should prepare a marker to mark off all the markings that you have already done so that you don't get lost or confused during this process. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye bye guys.